What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Anything But Isaac. And I've been wanting to talking about this article that I dug up from the past. I think it was April 14th or April 12th about DeFi and what it really struck a chord with me. It really struck a nerve with me. What DeFi was supposed to be, but as we know, if anybody with eyes to see and ears to hear, DeFi and pretty much anything that's been in the top like 100 cryptocurrencies has been algo traded or been involved with any kind of like institutional investor has basically been taken over or started by some big hedge fund on Wall Street that's ultimately sponsored by Berkshire Hathaway, BlackRock, and all these other companies that we actually didn't want in the cryptocurrency industry to begin with. So I'm gonna go ahead and read through this article, and I think I have one takeaway from it, but I think it should be read out loud just so we can get a base on things of what DeFi was supposed to be. I'm gonna go ahead and start. Being DeFi and in the face of regulation, an important aspect of cryptocurrencies and blockchains is the trustless peer-to-peer model where user A can send funds to user B with neither party gaining any information other than the wallet address, similar to zero knowledge proofs. For many, it isn't enough. Many wish for more privacy, and are critical for the traceability of every transaction. Regulators aim to push KYC, which is know your customer, and AML, which is anti-money laundering features into DeFi to prevent fraud and tax evasion, money laundering. Those who stand for full financial freedom and privacy are not happy with this ideal. Now, to be fair, excerpt right here. There has been a lot of money stolen on the DeFi platforms just because, once again, they were made by institutional investors that are just amateurs that didn't have like the full on, how can I say, chops to actually make a blockchain that was fully secure. And to be honest, they were probably on the deadline. They were probably being pushed and rushed by very thin margins of pay and profit margins, and they just need to get something out and try something immediately. And that turned out like Ethereum's merge, what they didn't want to happen in Ethereum's merge to proof of stake. It turns out that when you rush things like that, you get wrecked, as they've been getting for the last billions and billions of dollars that have been pulled out of DeFi by hackers. Okay, so moving on. Imposing KYC and regulations only restrict user freedom. Some say that this defeats the purpose of DeFi, while others welcome the regulators. Those who choose to remain defiant of these regulators will need to find backdoors and will have to be extra vigilant when it comes to maintaining their footprint on the blockchain. Becoming untraceable on the blockchain is impossible from some protocols, but some protocols can help DeFi users to start fresh and leave their old trading history behind to an extent. If you purchase your crypto through Binance, for example, you likely have to go through KYC info that could be used against you in the future, whether that be by bad actors or authorities. If you send your Binance funds onto the Binance Smart Chain, you're left with a footprint. Your destination wallet will be tied to your KYC account. If you want to be defiant, it might be wise to sever this connection by using a mixer or a Tumblr protocol. And this is before the whole tornado cash thing, excerpt here. And we see how that went down. And this may be letting us know why it went down. It's due to know your customer and anti-money laundering protocols trying to be put in place by regulators, aka government, so that they can track people no matter what, no matter the cost. If somebody, you know, some hacker group that wanted to extort you saw it, well, so far be it for them to stop them. So be it. They're just gonna go kidnap you and extort you for your private keys, like it's happened before. Moving on. Let's say I want to invest in BSC, but all my funds on Ethereum are tied to KYC account. To protect my data and links to my Ethereum wallet, I may want to use a Tumblr bridge protocol such as Blockbend to cover my tracks. Blockchain would allow me to both bridge funds across chains while obfuscating the connection on the blockchain by using liquidity networks and other mixing algorithms. The destination wallet on BSC would be completely clean and it would be incredibly difficult to find the origins of the funds. Worst case scenario, the funds are lost if regulators seize them. Depending on the level of encryption you choose on Blockchain, they may not be able to tie the access directly to your personality, to you personally. This doesn't have to be cross-chain. Only users can tumble or mix transactions on the same chain. Just set up a fresh destination wallet. Even if you aren't afraid of regulation, it might be wise to prepare for the worst. I know what you're thinking. Doesn't this technology allow hackers and bad actors to launder stolen funds? Technically, yes, it does. But the aim of DeFi is to offer full freedom to everyone. There can be no regulation or restriction. The anarchy of DeFi is beautiful, but we may see a large split between regulated and unregulated DeFi as lawmakers step in. When self-governing assets, it is important to be aware of OPSEC and security. Keeping your funds under your own control, is a top priority. Regulation will remove some of these freedoms, and accounts without KYC may be blacklisted from entering certain liquidity pools or transacting with certain addresses. Some jurisdictions' authorities may even attempt to seize your assets. I recommend finding a nice balance between permissionless and permission DeFi. That way, if the sector becomes divided, you don't miss out on either side. Smart contracts are immutable, but there are new solutions and architectures emerging. That it is difficult to predict what the future of DeFi will look like, but there will be certainly be two sides: those who comply and those who are defiant. When I invest, I like to find hedges. If one thing fails, a competitor may succeed. Regulation is coming, so it is something we bet on or against. Why not both? Let's take my DeFi portfolio for example. I am invested in Charged DeFi and soon to be compliant fintech startup that aims to bring DeFi to the public in a regulated way. If regulation takes a hard stance, Charged DeFi can easily flourish, as it is prepared and compliant already. If regulators attempt to suffocate DeFi to protect their own interests and privacy, protocols will flourish, as people will rush to escape the regulators. I think Blockchain offers unique tools and is a great hedge against the regulatory approach that we are seeing. Helping users to take back control in the area of skepticism is a massive thing, and there is certainly a growing interest in grassroots DeFi. Play to the profit regardless of the scenario. Do not try to bet on what happens. Just be prepared for when it does. Think of asymmetric returns. Always play for the best and the worst case scenarios. Manage your risk and invest responsibility. And that's it for the article. I mean, once I read this, to be honest, freaking dog. Once I read this, I was like, you know what? I mean, it's in the name, DeFi. You're supposed to go against the KYC and AML. That's not supposed to be part of this ecosystem. But they're centralized DeFi now, which makes no sense at all. So, that's my take on it. What do you guys think? Should DeFi just be this new wave of privacy currencies and atomic swap exchanges that don't rely on centralized authorities? Maybe even get some of the fiat currencies out of there? Or do you think it's just going to end up being taken over like Bitcoin is? And we've already seen the best of DeFi and what it's going to give us, and the rest is downhill. Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys in another video.